one really pivotal moment was hiking with my dad on the Manitou Islands. I'm from Michigan, and we came across this incredible puffball mushroom, and they're, big and round, and as a kid you just know that you can jump on those and the spores explode and it's this cloud of smoke, and you see little ones and you get excited. You get to like, oh, I'm gonna jump on it, and it's very exciting. But this was a really big one and kind of a rare sight. And I have this vivid memory of my dad having us pause and say, hey, just remember that if you step on that, no one else gets to see it. No one else gets to see this amazing thing. And it didn't mean that we didn't get to stop and appreciate it and be excited about it. But there was something very pivotal for me in that moment of we have to protect what we've got with our beautiful natural environment. Otherwise, someone else might not get to enjoy it. And so making sure our air is clean, making sure our water is clean, making sure that folks have access to transit so they don't have to be in a car all the time and have access to their communities and the resources that are needed. That was a really pivotal moment for me. And I was pretty little. I think otherwise, I have a deep love of movement and being outside. I've played sports my whole life, and getting to be outside in nature, be that on a soccer field or hiking, or we're in the Pacific Northwest, there's an infinite amount of natural beauty. Being in your own garden, there's just something about putting your hands in dirt that really grounds me, and getting to work on something that protects those parts of our world is just very important to me. College was kind of always on my list. I think, I had sort of a fantasy of playing pro soccer and going to college and playing soccer and all of that. So what I ended up doing was a little different. At the time, around when I was graduating high school, I wanted to be a teacher, which I still, who knows, maybe someday. But I went to Michigan State because they have a fabulous education program, and it was in the state that I was from, that I am from. And I went to Michigan State, went into the education program and loved it, but it wasn't ringing my bells in the same way that I was hoping. And I ended up trying a different major. I tried entomology, which is the study of insects, and I loved it. I loved it. Insects are fascinating. They make our world turn. I mean, without ants, without termites, without all these tiny things that we maybe find annoying, we wouldn't exist. And so I went to Michigan State, started doing entomology, but then realized that I maybe didn't want to sit in a lab, and or wasn't as it was a fairly narrow field at the way it was being presented. And I was also kind of ready to go explore something new. So I ended up transferring to Seattle University out in Seattle, and kind of on a whim. I didn't know anybody out here. I had never been to Seattle and was excited to check it out. Came out here with my mom, felt like home immediately, and ended up getting in, went to Seattle University and studying environmental studies with an emphasis in politics and policy and a minor in nonprofit leadership, the world's longest degree name that you could have. But I wanted to do nonprofit work or political work at the time. And again, as things continued to unfold, as I was exposed to more bodies of work, I wasn't sure if that was where I wanted to end up. I think I had a fantasy of running the EPA by the time I was 30, which I'm 34. I'm really glad I don't run the EPA. That would be a very high-powered, high-pressure job. But I did 6 internships when I was in college, which, if I can give any advice, that's a ton. And relax, you'll be fine. You don't need to do 6 internships. But I was very nervous, and what I did love is I was exposed to a lot. So I did internships at local environmental groups, but I also did internships in an internship at the AIDS Alliance and worked on one of their events. Um, and so that kind of on the job training, any any job you do, any class you take, any experience you have, you're gaining some sort of information and some sort of skill from. And that's what is so cool is by the time you're in your 30s and you're doing your job, you can kind of look back at this patchwork of experiences that you've had and how they impact what you do now. And no one experience provided me every tool that I needed in order to do what I do today successfully. It was this patchwork of things that were a good fit and things that weren't a good fit. And it's been wonderful to kind of see all of those different pieces pay off. as I get older. So I am a sustainability planner at Sound Transit in Seattle. So I do a wide variety of things. I'm kind of what I would call a generalist, but the main three things that I focus on are managing our efficiency and sustainability program, which is a $25 million internal grant program to basically implement sustainability initiatives on our existing system. So you build something and maybe 10 years later, some great new technology comes out, think LED lights. Those are new in comparison to some of the things that maybe have been built. And we basically have internal grants to then update our existing system to be more sustainable. We also use it for research and other such bodies of work. The other piece of work that I do is communications on sustainability. So internal communications, that's things like newsletters, et cetera. I also coordinate with our communications program to do social media or celebrate Earth Month, all that kind of good stuff. And then lastly, I support our strategy department, or our strategy department, our strategy side of the house. And so that's things like updating our sustainability plan, which runs for 5 years. We have goals that go out all the way to 2050. So thinking about, are those the right goals? Are they aggressive enough? Are they too aggressive? And then breaking that body of work down into 5 year increments or about that so that we're chipping away at the work in a strategic way. So I support that body of work as well.